story so far, the first 50 years. This in actual fact is the party, 3-day medieval event, and this was the fun they had.
Remember to let her on the ocean, then you'll begin to make it better, 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 better. Woo! La, 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 la. Everything's la, la, la. Hey, Jude, Jude, all together now. One more time.
This is a fragmented CD. The digital era.
No, it's absolutely rubbish as well.
Come on, baby, let's go.
I like this, but I bet we'll ruin it.
No, you won't. Let me sing it then.
Oh my God.
Under trouble, go on, then. Mother Mary comes to me. Speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. I wake up to the sound of music, the melody comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be.
You've got to be joking.
Yeah, what's happening, Boots?
This is Frank Spencer singing the Beatles.
17, can you know what I mean? By the way she looked, was way beyond compare. Oh, how could I dance with another? I saw her standing there. Well, she looked at me, and I could see that before too long I was in love with her. Oh, she wouldn't dance with another. I saw her standing there. Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in my hand. Oh, yeah, through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long I fell in love with her. Well, I'll never dance with another. I saw her standing there. Well, my heart went boom when I crossed that room, and I held her hand in my hand. Oh, we danced through the night, and we held each other tight, and before too long I fell in love with her. Now I'll never dance with another. Since I saw her standing there. Oh, since I saw her standing there. Yeah, well, since I saw her standing there.
Hey! That's the end of that one, by the way.
Do you still love me? If you don't see a ribbon round the old oak tree, I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me. If I don't see a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree, I'm coming home. Bus driver, please look for me. Cause I couldn't bear to see what I might see.
Come on, sing!
I'm really still in prison, and my love she holds the key.
Louder!
What I need to set me free. So I wrote to find and told her please. But tie a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. It's been 3 long years. tree. I'll stay on the bus, forget about us, put the blame on me if I don't see a yellow ribbon round the old oak tree. I'm coming home. I'm coming home. I'm on the road. I'm on the road. Back home. I'm coming home. I'm still coming. Young man, there's no need to feel down. I said, young man, pick yourself off the ground. I said, young man, cause you're in this town. There's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go. I said, young man, and I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. You can get yourself in, you can have a good meal, you can do whatever you feel. Young man, I was brushing your shoes, I said I was down with the blues, I thought no man, that if I were alive, I felt the whole world was so just. Someone walked up to me and said, young man, take a walk up the street, there's a place there called the YMCA. They can start you back on your way. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for your men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. YMCA. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can
For the Thursday. Can you look into me? I'm going to eat that in a minute. I'll just scrape off the things.
Beneath the wings of the bluebird as she sings. The 6 o'clock alarm would never ring, but it rings and reminds, wipe the sleep out of our eyes. The Chevy razor's cold and it stings. Cheer up, sleepy Jean. Oh, what can it mean to a daydream believer and a homecoming queen? As a white knight on his scheme. Now you know how happy we can be. Oh, and good times start with them. No friend of mine.
Okay, this is day 2, and it's what time? 10 to 6, and we've bonfire night tonight for us, that is. Stories. Who's going first then? Maureen.
I think Maureen should go first.
Rainbow of flowers. Once upon a time there were 2 little children called Luke and Lucy, who lived in a big house by a stream. The little boy Luke was happy, bright and full of energy, but little Lucy was a sickly child who had to spend most of her time in bed. Luke had heard stories of Wizard Merlin who made spells and helped people in trouble. So one day he thought he would have an adventure and try and find him. He put something to eat and drink in a big handkerchief and tied it to a stick. put on his welly boots and anorak and started on his journey. On his way he met the animals and birds of the fields, and they all knew about Wizard Merlin and told him which way to go. After 3 days he found the cave where Wizard Merlin lived and pulled the big bell at the entrance. When Wizard Merlin came, he said, "And what does a little person like you want with the great Wizard Merlin? My little sister Lucy is not a happy person because she cannot run about like me. So I would like you to make her happy." Wizard Merlin was impressed with how Luke wanted something nice for his little sister, so he said he would help. He took Luke into the cave, which was full of books on spells, lots of bottles and interesting things. Merlin asked Luke what he thought would make Lucy happy. Luke said if she could see pretty things from her bed by the window, she wouldn't get upset at not going out. Merlin put on his big wizard's hat and started walking round the cave, thinking deeply. After a little while he said, "I know, I'll make a rainbow." He went round the cave collecting coloured bottles and carried them to a clearing outside. Then he got a large glass bowl and some silver powder. He poured each of the coloured bottles slowly into the bowl so they didn't mix, and he then sprinkled on the silver dust and sand. A different colour for each day of the week, a spell of Merlin's will do a treat. After a shower, a rainbow you'll see, just to make Lucy feel happy. And the colours rose out of the bowl and into the sky. He told Luke to go home to his sister, and the next time it rained to look out of the window. Indeed, there would be a rainbow every month. In February they looked out of the window, and down by the stream the rainbow touched the water, and suddenly there were lots of blue-purple crocuses. In March it rained for 3 days, and when the rainbow came out with the sun, there were hundreds of yellow daffodils along the stream. In April all the trees came out in green leaves, and underneath were lots of lovely bluebells. In May, little violets. In June the rainbow brought out all the marigolds, and in August all the fields of corn behind the stream were full of bright red poppies. In fact, all the summer the flowers had come out in the colours of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. Little Lucy had been so happy watching all this that she had got stronger and had more energy. So Luke had been able to take her out into the field of poppies and tell her his secret about Wizard Merlin and the making of the rainbow.
Oh, that was lovely. He's crying.
Okay. Christine next then.
Is it in a pig?
No, this is a poem.
Luke, where's your costume?
Has anybody done that
Glasses.
That is Margaret.
Mine and Shane.
Have we got the monopoly in the car just in case?
No.
Can I just squeeze by quick then?
Yeah.
I need a minute. Can you see that? Do you want the ones you had
Kick
last
the thing
night?
out of the way.
They're a bit blue.
Do you want me to read one?
No, if you go up and down, move your eyes up and down.
Those were
I'll use them.
She had those last night. I wanted to buy me back. I got them there.
Have you?
Those are the best.
Should have bought me own.
You ate up my car at work today.
You ready?
Yeah. Quiet, Luke.
Don't laugh, don't laugh.
Your mum's reading this before.
Not at the
Sit down,
poem.
shut up,
Harry,
back your
sorry.
age.
Wizard Merlin from Dingley Dell, with his magic wand, book and spell, can do a trick, a spell or two, and make a potion or a brew. He has a rival, Clulow Witch, who has some dragons that's bewitched. Believe me, children, they are there, so keep a lookout and take care. Into the woods they come at night, sent by Clulow to kill and fight. To look for children, so be aware, the dragons are hiding everywhere. Children are their favourite feast. They eat them up, yum yum, what a treat. Boy or girl, it doesn't matter. Small or thin, small or tall, thin or fatter. Now Merlin's got this lollipop that's sweet and sticky and hard as rock, to tempt the dragons to come to you, that's made of Merlin's magic brew. A lick, a taste, a slurp or two will bring lost children back like new. The dragons, they will disappear, and from them no more you will hear. But be aware and look about, for baby ones there are no doubt. So when you go to your sweet shop, look out for Merlin's lollipop. The lolly he has made for you, to keep you quiet and a dragon's few. But Totty, he's around somewhere, go and find him if you dare. What of Cluedo, where is he? Your lollipop lady, well maybe. Don't be awesome, have no fear. Wizard Merlin, he's right here.
Very good, yeah. What a load of rubbish. Oh, no. Bloody nonsense.
Okay, Margie's turn.
Oh, gold. Are you ready for this one?
Is that it? Oh, go.
That's
That's the title. Oh, go.
No, this is the dog who wanted to talk. And guess who it is?
Lizzie.
Go on.
Once upon a time, in a village called Dingley Dell, lived a dog called Lizzie. Lizzie was a little mongrel. She was grey all over, except for a white patch on her front and a white tip at the end of her tail. She was a well-known figure in the village, and everyone loved her and talked to her. But Lizzie was no ordinary dog. She was very bright and intelligent, and was quite happy to do tricks for everyone. In fact, Lizzie thought she must be the happiest dog in the world. Every day she would wander down the high street to the butcher's to collect a bone. The butcher always had a smile and a kind word. She would visit some of the other shops and houses in the village, and it was always the same everywhere. She would be invited in for little tidbits and a warm around the fire on cold days. Later she would wander off home, where she would find a good spot by the fire and go to sleep. She had a wonderful life and was very happy, but she had one regret. She couldn't speak. She understood everything that people said to her. She listened to their conversation and longed to join in. Then one day, when she was wandering in the woods near the village, she met a strange old man. He had long white hair and a white beard. He bent down and stroked Lizzie and said, "Don't be surprised. I'm a magician, and my name is Merlin. I can understand what you're saying to me. Is there anything you'd like me to do for you?" When she got over the surprise, she told Merlin about her wish to be able to talk to her friends in the village. And Merlin said he would cast a spell on her for 24 hours, so she could try it out. He said he would meet her at the same time tomorrow, and she could tell him all about it. Lizzie was thrilled. She ran off to the village to try out her new voice on all her friends. She went first to the butcher's. There were several customers in the shop having a gossip, but when they knew she could speak, they asked her opinion and encouraged her to join in the gossip. She continued her journey through the village, stopping for a gossip with everyone she met. She finally reached home in time for tea and settled in her usual place in front of the fire to sleep. But she had no peace. Her family knew she could speak, and so she was brought into all their petty little squabbles. Next morning she went for a usual stroll down the village street, but everything was changed. Some of her friends would no longer give her tidbits and fuss her, and some wouldn't even speak to her, as they said they had heard she gossiped about them. The ones who still talked to her first wanted to tell her their troubles and have a moan about other people. She began to feel really depressed, and now knew that being a human being wasn't better than being a dog, after all. The final straw happened when she was on her way to meet Merlin. She met the Major, retired from the army many years ago, and known to everyone as Major Yawn, because he bored everyone with stories of the army. He'd heard that Lizzie could speak and understand, and proceeded to bore her to death with stories of the war, in which he always figured as the hero. By the time she met Merlin, she was thoroughly depressed. Merlin said, "How did you enjoy having a voice?" "I didn't," she said. I got into trouble for gossiping, and now some of my friends won't speak to me. I had no peace at home, and I've just been bored nearly to death by Major Lord. Please take away my voice. I'd rather just be a dog, a big loved by everyone, to be left in peace to chew my bones and sleep by the fire. Being a person is much too difficult, and nobody loves me now. Please make me just a dog again. Merlin waved his wand to break the spell, and said to Lizzie, now you are just as you were, and no one will remember anything that happened in the last 24 hours. Lizzie smiled happily at Merlin and replied,
I wish I'd heard that one. It sounded good. I missed it.
Okay, anybody else?
She's
got any?
sounding meow.
Sam?
Yeah, I've got one of Christine's to read, so...
How many did you write?
Emma did a copy.
Yes, sod off, I didn't copy any.
no, she did
No,
all
that's
that.
not
It was your
recorded.
back.
I did not copy anything.
No, she didn't.
Forgive me because I haven't got my
all
glasses
out of
on either.
here.
Okay, when you're ready.
Merlin Saved the Village by Christine Farwell. It was a dull cold day in the middle of winter. Merlin woke by the chimes of his big grand clock, got out of bed, rubbing his hands, gave a big yawn and went to the window. Not a very bright day, he thought. A bit too cold. Put on his clothes and went to the kitchen for breakfast. What shall I do today, he said to himself, not having anything planned, thinking of the cold outside. So he put on his cloak and went to his workshop. I'm fed up of this, he said. I need a change. Merlin has the power to do as he pleased, and could have anything he wanted, as a magician and very clever one too. I want to, I don't know. On this particular day he was sad and lonely. He was bored with having what he wanted, as all he had to do was say some magic words and wave his wand. What he wanted was a friend, someone to share his magic with him, someone to care for. Merlin was very old, a lot older than he looked. The adults in the village didn't like him. They thought he was mad and were a bit frightened of him. Merlin liked children. If he knew one to be in trouble, he would help, with the aid of his magical power, as much as he could do without it being known. He then had an idea. I'll go down the village and watch the children. But there won't be many adults today, it's too cold, he thought, then smiled to himself. I know how to bring the children out, he said, and took out his magic wand out of his pocket. Cold today it may be, but with this wand I call to thee. Come out, sunshine, come and see, the children run and play with me. Merlin looked at the clouds, and sure enough, out came the sun. Then one by one the doors opened, and children came running out into the street, laughing, singing, playing with balls, and other toys of their choice.
I said so, Rose.
Everyone knew. Everyone knew of Merlin, but
Funny how one week can change everything.
everyone knew of Merlin, but did not know of him. The children heard lots of stories about him. Some were frightened, some were curious. Although Merlin could have anything he wanted, he was not really happy, because he was a good wizard and knew what the village people thought about him. He didn't go into the village very often, and spent most of his time at home working on new spells and tricks. Merlin did have a few friends, animal friends in the woods near his home, and until now, though he was happy, he had lived many years, had many adventures, and at one time a lot of friends. But because of his magic powers, he could never die, and had outlived them all. Although Merlin was a very clever magician, the one thing he could not do was to stop others from dying of old age. The time had now not come for him to meet new people and make new friends. But how was he to do it? Most of the people were frightened of him and did not trust him. All this power, what can I do? He said. He went home, sat and thought, slept and thought. Then it came to him, all I have to do is be myself, kind, friendly and helpful. But how was he to do that? The children were told to keep away from him, and the grown-ups ignored him. Then one day in the village he heard there was going to be a drought, and the whole village would suffer, that the water supply was running dry. Merlin, because of his magic powers, knew he could help. He told the village that because he was old and knew how the hot water serviced the village, he could get the water back. They had no choice but to ask for help and trust him. He went to the spring where the water went into the village, and with his magic wand began, "Water, water, hear my plea, please bring water in for me." And he waved his magic wand. Should have said it that way, it sounds better. The water was now in full supply. The village people were very overwhelmed and welcomed Merlin into the village. Soon he made many friends. He watched and played with the children and told many stories. Merlin then lived happily ever after.
So would you keep sneaking off, mate, every time somebody tries to read, start to read one?
Anyway, not with an head cold on.
Whoa, it's a hard life.
They'll not say laughing at me.
You've got Dylan's story.
Okay, Scott.
This is a poem.
It's only a little one, isn't it?
Oh,
Wizard Merlin.
that's all right.
Wizard Merlin, who is he? From this point well may be. Magic potions, tricks and all, with his wand spells galore. Rats and bats and dragons too, he can put a spell on you. So be good in all, no? So be good or you will be in the posture of fatigue. But Wizard Merlin is not so bad, although some think him mad. A spell or two, a word or two, he can make your dreams come true. He may be here, he may be there, you may see him. You may not see him, so beware. But he's around, I promise you, so be good in all you say and do.
Very good. That's a good one.
Let me sit down.
It is you really proper.
What does it do?
Down, sit over here. Hang on. Okay, this is Barry Dillon's.
You want some glasses? Surely it's not that.
You ain't ready yet. Lorraine ain't here either.
Merlin the magician was very busy in his snug little cave at Dingley Dell. Every day he got better and better at the magic spells, and his fame as a magician was spreading wide and far, and that's how it wrote. He was so busy he didn't have time to get his hair cut, which of course made him look a very real wizard, with long flowing hair and a straggly beard. When he looked in the mirror, he was very pleased and smiled to himself. He jumped just a little when there was a loud knock. As he opened it to find a policeman on the doorstep, looking very grave. Merlin asked him inside and gave him a cool drink, which he made himself out of lemon ice cubes with strawberry mousse. The policeman liked that very much and thanked Merlin, but he still looked very grave. "We desperately need your help, Merlin," said the policeman. "I'm afraid little Jenny Johnson from Beauty Bank forgot for a moment she shouldn't talk to strangers, and she's been taken away in a stranger's car. We've been looking for her now for 3 whole days, but we've just can't find her. Do you think you could help?" It was Merlin's turn to look very grave. He knew Jenny and her friends from Beauty Bank who used to visit him at Dingley Dell and bring little presents for him like dolly mixes and chocolate buttons which he adored. Merlin took out his book of spells, stroked and stroked his long beard as he slowly turned the pages. At last he smiled and his dark eyes glittered like diamonds. "Here we are," he said to the policeman. "Just listen to this." He put on the tall wizard's hat and in a very low voice read the spell. "Eyes of blue and eyes of brown, looking all around the town, to see through stone and see through brick, find dear Jenny double quick." "That sounds very good," said the policeman. "Well, what do we do now?" "I'll tell you when we get to Beauty Bank," said Merlin, and off they went. Jenny's teacher met them at the classroom door, and the policeman explained why they'd come to the school. Merlin asked the teacher to take all the children in Jenny's class out to the playground. They were to hold hands and form a large circle with Merlin in the middle. When this was done, Merlin put on his tall wizard's hat and asked the children to repeat after him the magic spell he had found. "Eyes of blue and eyes of brown, looking all around the town. See through stone and see through brick, find dear Jenny double quick." All the children repeated the spell together, and as they did, Merlin went round in a circle and tapped each boy and girl lightly on the head with his magic wand. When the mums came to pick up the children from school, Merlin spoke to each of them and asked them to go with their child to different parts of the town, making sure to hold hands very tightly. Off they went, and soon there were shrieks and shouts all over the town as the children were able to see through brick and stone walls and see what was on the other side. They could easily see inside shops and offices and cafes without going inside. It was magic. They could see all the toys in the toy shop and all the sweets in the sweet shop, all the dresses in the dress shop and all the lovely money in the bank. It really was magic. However, Merlin and the policeman had to go round and remind them of the purpose of the magic, which was to find Jenny. And they all began to look very, very hard at every building they came across. Perry Price sat next to Jenny at school, and he and his mum were walking up the church street, peering through every building on the way. The top of Church Street was an old grey house with thick brick walls that didn't bother Perry, of course. He was able to look straight through the walls and into the dark building. And what to do? What do you think he saw? Yes, the dark boy called by an old overcoat was Jenny. She seemed to be asleep. Perry and his mum quickly called the policeman, who bashed down the door and ran to Jenny, who immediately rubbed her eyes and sat up. In less than no time, Jenny's mum and dad arrived with Merlin, and everyone was overjoyed. Merlin was the guest of honour at a lovely party at Jenny's house with all of her school friends. Next day, when the children went to school, they found they couldn't see through walls anymore, and the magic spell had worn off. But that didn't matter, as Jenny had been found, safe and sound. And Merlin had proved he was a really magic magician who was loved by all.